Live, this is South Florida Today on NBC6 HD.
In South Florida, we have seen one after another. The big guns in retail closing their doors, going out of business. Names like Levitt's, Circuit City, Lane Bryant, Zales, and scores of others. Retail analyst Darlene Quinn has written a book called Webs of Power, in which she looks at the fall of the retail chains, and she joins us this morning. Darlene, thanks for being with us.
Nice being here, Bob.
You have actually been in the boardrooms of big retail.
Yes, I was in the management group of a large federated department store on the West Coast.
What has changed in the last decade to have created such a huge onslaught of retail chains going out of business?
I think it's actually been about 2 decades. In the mid-'80s, the background of my book was the mid-'80s, where the business of America became the taking over of businesses in America, the tool, the leverage buyouts, and that's where you saw the big debts growing, and you've seen stores like Circuit City, Linens and Things, Mervyn's fall. They couldn't pay back the debt.
So was the problem corporations biting things bigger than they could swallow?
Right. In the 80s was when Wall Street brought Wall Street to its knees. Bankers, they overextended. They were thinking they'd make these businesses lean and mean, decrease their expenses, and bring up their sales.
Go ahead.
In retail, sometimes what they reduced in expense, such as sales associates on the floor, had an adverse effect on their ability to bring in the sales.
Well, that's probably the biggest complaint among consumers today. You walk into a big department store and you have thousands and thousands of items, but if you need help, you can't find help. Is that how it all ends up when they can't afford what they bought?
It's sort of a tug-of-war that's always been there in retail. You need to have enough salespeople to help your customers. On the other hand, you owe it to your stockholders to produce on the bottom line, so you have to have enough sales in order to afford the salespeople.
So where are we going with this? I mean, how far will this slide go?
I think there are measures being taken. Actually, the retailers this time around were smarter than in the recession of 2001. They've cut back on inventories. They are looking at the model. There's a tug-of-war going on right now between consumers and the retailers, and you saw it during the holiday season, where the retailers are cutting back on their inventory to avoid the bloodbath they had in 2008. And at the same time, consumers are sort of holding back, waiting for that big sale.
Well, but we have another choice now. We don't have to wait in line at a store. We can go online and buy the same thing and have it delivered to our door 3 days later.
But what a sad world that would be if all we did was sit at our computers and order online. Actually, we talk about the online sales and really cutting the retail business, and it has definitely had an effect. However, the percentage of online sales is only 10% of the retail sales.
I would have thought it was a lot more than that.
I did too. That was a surprise to me.
Thank you very much for being with us. Again, Lisa will be signing copies of her book, Webs of Power, today, actually 6 tonight at the Borders Bookstore on South Dixie Highway.